MotorWeek is made possible by TireRack.com, State Farm, and WeatherTech.
When most people think of classic American pony cars, the first one that comes to mind is usually the Mustang, like this Shelby GT350. But not me.
I like the Mustang too, but for me, the quintessential classic American muscle car is the Camaro Z28, the one that put Ford on its heels for decades to come.
By 1967, roughly 1 million Mustangs were already on the road. To compete against Ford's sporty coupe, the Bowtie Brigade turned to the Chevy 2 Nova Super Sport, but it lacked the styling pizzazz of the Mustang. So GM engineers came up with something entirely new with one goal in mind: to beat the Mustang in every possible way. In fact, when asked by the auto press what the name Camaro meant, they replied, "It's a small, ferocious animal that eats Mustangs."
Chevy made a lot of different variants of the Camaro over the first few years, but this is the one that everybody lusts after, the 1969 Z28.
Dude, this particular car is my absolute favorite GM car of all time.
Chip Miller is the owner of Eurostar Auto Gallery outside of Baltimore, specializing in rare and exotic automobiles. But he's also a massive fan of the '69 Z28 and has been since he was a teenager.
I think this car will stand the test of time because it has been so heralded over the years as being just a very versatile racer, a versatile street car with the look and the feel of American muscle. It's just got it all going on.
The Z28's main rival was the Mustang Boss 302, but in terms of sales, there was no competition. The '69 Z28 outsold the Boss by a 12-to-1 margin. Even in terms of total Camaro numbers, Chevy had closed the gap on Ford, selling only 50,000 fewer units in 1969. In just 3 short years, the Camaro had officially become a serious adversary for the mighty Mustang.
I love a good underdog story, and in a lot of ways, that's what the Camaro was. At the time, the Mustang was the icon that everybody was chasing after, and this was just an upstart. But in a lot of ways, it was also a better car.
The $458 Z28 package gave owners quicker steering, better suspension, and for the first time ever, the option of 4-wheel disc brakes. And though precision steering and classic Detroit muscle don't always go hand in hand, the Z28 gave me plenty of confidence to punch the accelerator no matter how twisty the roads got. And by design, the Z28 was built to put down fast laps on a track with a focus on handling. But for some consumers, that was actually a bad thing.
Now, gearheads might have wanted a straight-line speedster, but that's not what the Z28 was. It got to 60 miles an hour in about 8 seconds, and it was built for the racetrack, not drag racing.
And on the racetrack, it was dominant, winning the Trans Am Racing Series title in both '68 and '69. Racing conditions demanded that the 302 V8 be tuned to deliver top-end power, where the driver would spend most of their time. But that also means less speed off the line. But that all changes once the RPMs start to climb.
Get up around 3,000 or 4,000 RPM, and this thing turns into a rocket ship. And the way this engine sounds, 30 might as well feel like 100.
So what's not to love? Well, there's no AC, and driving on a hot summer's day will go from uncomfortable to miserable in a hurry. And the lack of power steering and a heavy clutch mean road trips or heavy traffic of any kind will become a labor-intensive endeavor. And while you will definitely fall in love with the engine's mighty roar, your neighbors definitely won't. But trust me when I say this, it's all worth it.
Now, I've had the privilege to drive a lot of incredible cars over the years, but very few of them are ones I've actually wanted to take home. But this one is.